But what about toughness? How well is the interior screwed together?
To find out, I'm going to throw this super bouncy ball into the Yeti, and as it pings around, I'm going to invite this enormous, excitable dog to run in there and retrieve it. No, not the flies. Getting the flies won't damage the car in any way. No, stop chasing flies. Here, look. Bouncy ball. Ready? And retrieve! Retrieve! It's okay. Luckily, I have a backup dog. Fetch! It's kind of like a mouse in there, really. Yeah, it's like a mouse.
If I'm honest, this test hadn't been terribly informative, so I decided to line up another one.
As we can see, an enormous fire is raging out of control and the fire brigade has arrived, but their route to the inferno is blocked by the Skoda, so they're going to have to go through the car itself with their boots and their hoses and their breathing apparatus. I think if the Yeti can stand up to this, it can certainly stand up to your children's jammy Dodgers. Go, men, quickly, go through there. That fire could set fire to literally anything. The whole of Derbyshire's at risk here, or Leicestershire, or wherever we are, it's at risk. He's coming out of the window, his enormous boots.
After the terrifying fire had been brought under control, we examined the car and found that not a single thing had broken or come off. Onward then to the countryside, where we find the Yeti has reinforced underside panels to protect vital components such as the brake lines.
It also has ABS, EDC, EDB, ASR, EDL, DSR, and crucially, ESBS. In short, a lot of acronyms to make sure that it doesn't run away with you when you're going down a slope, or that it doesn't roll backwards when you're attempting to do a hill start.
I meant to do that because now I can demonstrate the HBA. Ready? Here we go. See, I've got my foot on the clutch, not on the brake, handbrake off, and it won't roll back. That's impressive. Ooh, yes.
And look at this, the sat-nav is tracing my route, so when I've had enough of driving around in a countryside, I can simply follow the route back to where I started from.
That's clever. But what about comfort? Well, to find out how well the Yeti absorbs the bumps and the bashes, I've stolen an idea from another television programme.
What I'm going to do is drive around some countryside while the chap on the left over there sits in the back and gives a tattoo to the chap on the right. And I'm not talking about some holiday henna drawing that he can rub off when he gets home. I'm talking about a real tattoo. Right, you may begin. Whoa! Now, Rob.
Right.
In terms of pain, where are we?
I'm on about a 6 out of 10 now.
Oh, what?
This is harder than I thought.
Whoa! I do apologise. Sorry.
Let me remind you, Rob is getting a real tattoo here. This is not faked.
You may have got a bit wrong there.
Up front, I thought the Yeti was doing rather well.
Slightly boggy bit here. Sorry. I reckon we could do brain surgery in the back of this car. It's so smooth.
I'd possibly agree with you.
Eventually, the tattoo was finished, so we pulled over to see what it looked like.
Is that blood?
Is it bleeding? Yeah, is it bleeding?
You're joking.
That's blood.
Now, look at that.
I think that's quite good.
I think that's amazing. It does look, not brilliant, but it's really not bad at all. It really, well done, mate.
I've done worse.
No, listen, Rob, I'm afraid we've got some bad news for you, because you see, there is a second part to this experiment.
Second part?
Yeah, second part. See, what we're going to do now to demonstrate just how comfortable this is put you in the back of another car and then do another cloverleaf on the other shoulder, and then we'll see what that looks like.
Really?
You probably think this isn't too bad, yeah, at the moment?
All right, at the moment.
What I'm going to do is raise it up now into its off-road setting, and that does have quite a profound effect on the, shall we say, ride quality. Oof, jiggling really quite badly. Oh, I do apologise.
Whoa!
There's a lot more pain involved in a rough ride like this, Rob. Would you say that?
I would say definitely yes. Don't have it while moving.
Stab myself!
It actually sounds like we're filming an episode of 24 in here. That really hurt.
Yeah.
Soon it was time to stop and analyse the results.
How does it look?
Honestly,
Honestly.
not brilliant.
So, what we've learned so far is that the Yeti's more comfortable than a Range Rover, more practical than a Maybach, faster than a Ferrari, cheaper than a Vauxhall Astra, and tougher on the inside at least than the fire brigade.
But, and this is crucial, a lot of people ask me this, can you get Sienna Miller in the glove box? Well, let's find out. Sienna, are you in there?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
And are you comfortable?
Very.
Marvellous, goodbye. Good mark for the Yeti there.
But what about the air conditioning? Rolls-Royce always used to say that the aircon they used had the cooling power of 30 domestic fridges. So can the Yeti beat that?
To find out, I'm going to drive this car through that burning building while holding this ice cream. Now, if it melts and I end up with sticky fingers, the aircon's no good. 900 degrees in here. Scientists would call that toasty. And it is, I suppose. You can roast a chicken at 180. I've asked on the dial here for 18 degrees, and if we look on this rubbish temperature gauge here, I don't know if you can see that, it's 18.7. This is amazing. Not a dribble. I am actually quite surprised. I thought this would be more uncomfortable than it is. What this car is the opposite of a Pop-Tart.
Satisfied that I proved my point about the Yeti, I was going to call it a day at this stage and head back to the studio. But then, I had a thought. You see, Roman Abramovich has probably been watching this and thinking, yes, that is a remarkable car, but could I land my helicopter on it? Well, let's find out.
Now, I should stress that we have not modified the structure or the suspension or the roof of the car in any way. We've simply added a 100-kilogram roof rack, and in a minute or so we're going to be trying to land a 600-kilogram helicopter on top of it. 700 kilograms on the roof. Don't look at the helicopter, just look at the speed.
It was crucial that I kept the throttle pedal as steady as a rock.
Here he comes. Problem is, a car is very quick to respond. One twitch of your foot, that's disastrous from the helicopter, because that's very slow to respond. I can feel the car being pushed down now by the blades.
Abort, abort.
Is he aborted? A million things can go wrong with this, and all of them end up with a fireball and me with no head on. Okay, we'll have another go. Here he comes. I can hear it. I don't know where it is.
It was a lot worse for the pilot, though.
He cannot see the car when he lands. He has no reference points. Is he down? He's down. Ooh. Ease it down, not too sharply. I do not want a £150,000 helicopter jerking off and landing on the bonnet. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Skoda Yeti with a helicopter on the roof.